Hello everybody. Going live for Tuesday Talks with an amazing soul called Peg Tucker, who is a business mentor and a coach, helping busy women create freedom and fulfillment. And this is something everybody needs at the moment, right? Because we are so busy, we're trying to juggle so many things, and what does that freedom mean to you? What that is that time freedom, fulfillment? Are you fulfilled with what you are doing? And this is where we are going to obviously have that chat with Peg today, and see what that journey looks like for Peg. How is she able to help busy women get that freedom and fulfillment they need? And hi, Peg, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. So I've done this introduction for you a bit already. You being a business mentor and a coach, helping busy women create freedom and fulfillment. But obviously, you're the best person to elaborate more and do your introduction. So yeah. So if you just introduce yourself as to who you are, what you are doing, and why you're doing it.
Sure. Well, yeah, my name is Peg Tucker, and I live in upstate New York, and it's we're very close to the Canadian border. And I've been an entrepreneur really all my life. From the time I was very young, I got a job before I told my parents about it. Got a job delivering newspapers. I always liked doing my own thing. And after when my kids were in school, I opened a consignment clothing store, which I really loved. I really took a lot of pride in it. It wasn't designer, but it was better, better things. And when people started buying online, things started to go like this. And I thought I told myself a story that was all I could do. And I hung on for a very long time, jumped through so many hoops, and just about killed myself. All of the burdens of having your own business, paying rent and employees and taking out the trash and doing the payroll, really got to be everything all of a sudden was on me. So yeah, so I ended up finding out of necessity, a friend of mine suggested that I might want to. She had a product that I really liked, and she said, you might want to try selling this because you could make an extra income. And at that point, Zishan, I needed an extra income. I had bills that were, I was making minimum payments, and I was reaching the credit limits, and it was suffocating. So I was introduced at that time to network marketing. I ended up having to close my store, and I really fell in love with the industry because I love, there's some really, really amazing products that you can buy that I believe a lot of companies will take that route of distributing their product because some of them have a story to tell. There's having your own experience with the product is something that you almost can't portray in a magazine ad or a TV ad. And so I fell in love with the industry there. I kind of dabbled, kind of treated it like a hobby, though I really didn't, I didn't see the big picture. I didn't see the really big goals for myself. And the company that I'm with now is growing. I'm growing, and my business is growing like I always hoped the other one that I had tried had. So I'm really, really enjoying, and what I love the most is helping other women and moms to not be in that position that I was in when my kids were young, of, going to the grocery store checkout and wondering, is there enough on this credit card to pay for what I have here on the cart? Or am I going to have to ask my kids to put some things back?
Wow.
Yeah. And,
That's
going from that to like this year, I went shopping with my daughter. She lives our youngest lives in Los Angeles now. And she was home for a few weeks over Christmas, and we got to go do some running around. And it was such a happy, joyful day. The two of us going, just running some errands. But the lightness of having no concern really for a credit card's going to run out. You know, to be able to say, yeah, let's get this, and yeah, let's get that. I mean, it wasn't anything crazy, but the lightness of it, there was just so much more. It's really hard to feel joy when you're feeling suffocated.
No, I can. I mean, I love the amazing story, and I can 100% relate to it as well. I mean, myself, doing what I do now as well, being similar as your journey, I would say. You know, I've always been an entrepreneur, and I guess the real entrepreneurs are always entrepreneurs since a young age, right? So we don't fit in to the norms, let's say, whatever that norm is, right? To the society. Oh yeah, you have to go and get a job. I did get a job and done those things, but it wasn't satisfactory, and you don't want to be. I was happy. I was doing it. I was successful in it and everything, but it wasn't fulfilling. You didn't feel like, yeah, this is where it is, right? Because the question always I had was, is it? There's got to be more than what I'm doing here. I can't just wake up, come to work, do routine, listen to somebody else asking me something, and I'm trying to meet those deadlines every time, and then come home and then start all over again.
Yeah.
And come weekend, I'm trying to relax. Then my family is not getting to see me a lot because I'm trying to be like, oh no, I'm tired. You go out, you do what you need to do. I'm at home, So start feeling that disconnection, and this is where, and it was 2008 when the recession happened in the UK. I think it was a global recession anyway. So with the UK, it actually hit me hard, and to the brink of being bankrupt, right? Able to lose house, not able to pay bills. A lot of things happened because the company I was working for just decided to just shut everything down and do from one place. And that place was so far away. They did offer me to go there, but the commute was so long that I would have just wasted my whole day just to go to work and then come back, right? That my whole day going to leave at the crack of dawn where there's no light, and come home, there'd be still no light. So I would never see daylight, pretty much. Yeah. So I was like, no, that's not feasible. So I had to leave that job as well. And that took me to that position, exactly what you're thinking of. Am I able to buy this? Am I able to do this? Even thinking of grocery shopping just to get food on the table, you're thinking, is this possible? And that's when, I've always lived life by design in terms of what I wanted to do, but I was never focused long-term because everything was happening around me. I was comfortable, when everything is happening, you're comfortable. You're not thinking far ahead until you get hit by something, unless there's a bump on the road. And that bump was that 2008 for me. And then, that made me now sit down, look at my blueprint of my life, and I'm like, okay, what is next? Right? Yeah. I need to now move on. And then, everything since then, I've been trying out. Yeah, I dabbled into work and everything, but I've always been doing everything myself, dabbled into network marketing, a lot of stuff. But then I went in and I've been doing it. I love connecting with people. I love serving people in terms of, right, if there is information, I can set that out, help other entrepreneurs who are on the similar journey like us hear this and, get inspired by it, that there is light at the end of the tunnel. Even though you feel like there's none at the moment, there is the light. Light always finds a way in if we allow it to come in. And that's what's where we have to allow it to come in instead of hope, to say, yes, we are going to get it. Because hope only is there if you're thinking you're not going to get anything. That's why you're just being hopeful about it, right? You don't need to be hopeful about it if you are going and getting it, right? The racers don't start running and then hope to win. They start running and they want to win, and they keep going until they win, or whoever was ahead of them wins, right? So you
True. Keep going. Although I feel that a lot of what I do is offer hope, because, like you said, what your position, the company shut down. And in 2020, when so many companies and so many people when their business was tanking, really network marketing was thriving because people were saying, oh my gosh, I need another plan. I need another plan. And I like I think of HOPE as an acronym for help other people every day. It's that's what I love about this. And your company, you know, people's companies shutting down, people realize people need a plan B, and we all do, you know. And when my business started to go downhill, I realized that it was because of the internet. And here I was trying to, you know, trip over everything, trying to, I often literally said I felt like the captain on the deck of the Titanic rearranging the chairs, you know, because I knew where the ship was going. I knew what was happening, and I didn't know what to do. And I'm so thankful that someone reached out to me, a friend of mine, and said, you might want to try this. Because if they hadn't, you know, I think we often think, it often feels like something's happening to us. And as I look back on it now, that was happening for me, because I was trying to fight the internet. And so that was a pivotal moment for me, because I could either be a victim and withdraw, or I could shift my perspective and embrace the power of the internet and start an online business. You know,
I love this, you know, and it's great, like what you just said, you know. So me coming over from that to also 2008, I was pretty much ready for this pandemic right from then, and I'm sure you were as well, because you were already now dabbling into a lot of stuff online as well, and connecting physically as well. But yeah, so even though I was working with a company that I had taken a job with for a few years, I was still doing my entrepreneurial things on the side, but as you know, on not on a regular basis, not committed 100%, but doing it here and there. But as soon as this pandemic came in and everybody was in lockdown, and lots of companies again was you know, taking the opportunity of best opportunity, let's minimize, shut down, and everything, right? They take that. And I was lucky enough this time that my company didn't, because I was able to work from home, and I made myself that established that I was able to do from home, Zoom calls and all that stuff. Technology is, you know, evolved by now. But what I decided to do was, come July, I decided to resign from it, and I said, okay, a lot of things, because my entrepreneurial side of things, exactly, network marketing and other things that I do, just took off. And I was like, okay, now the decision is with me. Do I carry on working for a company who's, you know, is providing me a blanket, you know, comfort blanket, stability, or now I give myself 100% to the business, which is now thriving at the moment. But if I give my 100%, it will not catapult to another level. And that was a choice. And there was me then, okay, I rang up my boss, and, you know, I'm like, yeah, I'm not coming to work anymore next month. Give 1 month's notice, left.
wow.
And everybody around me was like, what you doing? What you doing? You know, there are people losing job left, right, and center, and there's you picking up the phone and saying, I want to leave. You know, even my boss was shocked. They're like, you were the last person that I thought would call me. But like, yeah, so, you know, I then have to explain to him what I'm doing and everything, and this is actually taking a lot better now. I would want to 100% spend my time with this, you know, than work. I would never actually wanted to work anyway. You know, in my life, I never actually wanted to work for somebody else, because it's not your time. You're running errands in terms of deadlines. You know, you're making all this money for the other company, and you only get to see some portion of it, right? And with my role, I used to see how much contracts I was winning for my company, but the portion I used to get at the end of it, I'm like, right, okay, if I'm doing this myself, I'll be, you know, winning a lot of contracts. But obviously, because the company had a bigger name, it was a big corporate company, that's why they were winning it. But you only get a fraction of the fraction of the fraction for what you just do. And here I was coaching young entrepreneurs now to launch their businesses online. So from the age of 11 to 17, that actually shooted up during pandemic, because everybody was home. Schools are off and everything. They are learning at home. So parents now want to keep them occupied and busy. And then my courses went up in terms of now learning. So those kids that started the business during pandemic are successful entrepreneurs on their own rights now as well, that took off. And
that's
they got
amazing.
their own business. And that's what I was doing that before on part-time basis and other things. But during pandemic time, that just went off. And I'm like, I'm so grateful. In a way, I say I'm grateful for this little pivot moment that came, right? I do understand, it's a lot of people suffered and everything, but it is the way how you take it. I could have suffered as well, go into depression again, it's lockdown, I'm stuck at home, I can't go
Yep.
out. But it was like, oh no, I've been through this once, 2008. This is second time again. What can I do? Stay motivated. I need to busy, I'm not gonna fall back down because I had the reserves and I kept myself. Now I was ready for it. So this is another thing I now teach others, to be ready for what the life throws at you. And if you are following your life plan, you can be the next person picking up that phone and firing. I call it now, fire your boss before your boss fires you. So pick up that phone and fire him first.
Yes. Yeah. I love that. And like what you were saying about your family, being too tired to do something when you got home, or when you got home at the end of a hard day. People don't realize it, but your family's not getting the best of you. They're getting the rest of you, right? They're getting that little bit that you have energy for when you get home, and doing your own thing, being an entrepreneur. You can, maybe you have to schedule in your family, but you have the opportunity to do that. You have the opportunity to live your life on your terms, rather than, as you said, making someone else's dreams come true. Why not make your dreams come true and your own family's dreams come true? I 100% agree with you. And it's so rewarding to me, because I've got people on my team now that are doing this full time, who really just started thinking, oh, I'll make an extra couple $100 a month, that are doing this full time. And that is incredibly exciting for me, to be able to help people to do that, and to know that I have something. If I don't pick up the phone and call someone about what I have, whether it be my product or the opportunity, I'm cheating someone out of making their own decision in something that can change their life.
So here's a question that it came to my mind when you were just saying this, right? So the pivotal moment that you mentioned earlier was when one of your friends approached you, right? Here's something that you might want to check out. What was going through your mind that time? Were you open to the opportunity? Because what I come across in terms of, and what I've seen also with the clients that I now coach and help, is a lot of times, you come across because they are going through what society taught them and what they think is the norm, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, you can't do this, you can't, it's a blanket that I don't want to throw away the blanket yet, right? Is the open-mindedness, were you open to the opportunity? Okay, let me check it out, what it is. Does it go my way or not? Or if it is for me or not, right? How was that journey for you?
Does it go now? I was open, and I think it's because I've got that entrepreneurial mind. I think for too many people, what has become normalized is working 40 hours a week and working 9 to 5 and complaining about it from 5 to 9 until you go to sleep, or not having, missing your kids' games, your kids being in daycare, not being able to pay for college debt. That's become normalized. And this gives people a way out, whether it's a second stream of income or whether they choose to do it full time. There's no ceiling on it, and you can live your life on your terms, and you can set your own income goal. I mean, I'm like you. I don't like someone setting my limits for me, because I'm a hard worker, and network marketing isn't easy. It's not easy. It requires work. I think a lot of people get in and think it's maybe they're told it's easy, and they think they're not going to have to do anything, and it's a get rich quick, and it's not either of those things, but it's not get rich quick, but it can be get rich over time, and it's better than what is normal is the get rich never, right? I mean, that's the normal plan, because you're making someone else rich, but it's not going to happen for most people. So, I mean, I just feel like, yeah, if I was open to it, and let's face it, I'm looking for more people like me. I don't want to convince anyone that this is for them, because it's not for everyone. It's for people who see a better life for themselves, and are willing to put in the work to do it.
I agree with that. With the last part, you know, 100%. When we are speaking to people, so you know, a lot of people, because when we say network marketing now, is so big that when you use the word network and marketing together, a lot of people get put off by it without even now knowing what it actually means, what it is, right? Because it's got the bad rep out there, right? Because people been, you meet. It's the same as if you walk into a store, right? You get a salesperson who is in your face, who wants to sell you that now this is it, and you know, otherwise go home. You don't know what you're buying, you don't know what you know, right? You come across that salesperson, then you come across another salesperson who's genuinely actually looking after you and recommending you the best thing that you can get from their store, right? So I mean, I use stores example because that I've come across all these salespeople, right? And people use these sleazy car salesperson example a lot, and that is, to me, is like, that's overly used now. But the reason that person is sleazy is because you allowed that person to do that, right? And that's the only way they know how to sell, right? If you go into a proper car garage and they have to sell, they're like, okay, what do you need? They will sit down with you. If you are able to afford it, let's go forward. You're not able to afford it, see you later, buy it, right? You make the decision. There's nothing forced. Yeah, but that depends on what person you come across. And so how I see networking is you connecting with people and giving the value you have, because everybody has a value to give, right? It's not just, oh yeah, I will connect with someone and then they will just unload everything that they know about it and try to sell me something, right? It's all about, okay, connecting with the person and connect with what information you have and then what information they have. They might have something that you might like or you might not like. It also depends on what part of the journey you in your life are as well. So a lot of people, when I connect to my first calls with the clients, are always understanding where they are in their journey first. Because if they're not in that journey exactly like you, I'm looking for people who are like me, you know, entrepreneurials, and they know what is their why and why they want to fire their boss. Not to get rich quick. There is no get rich quick schemes out there. There's no magic pills out there. There is discipline and work ethics involved in there, which on the borderline, if you stick to it and stay disciplined, you're able to reach the success that you had anywhere you have at the moment, even if that's at work. If it's taken you 1 year at work to achieve what you have achieved, it might just take you 2 years by doing it by yourself, right? Because the company had created that system for you. You were just a cog in that system, achieving your success because the system was working everywhere else. But now if you're creating a system which is for you, yourself, you know yourself best, so what system works for you, and you have to master that, and then it's done. The company paid someone to create a system that works for them, and then you became a part of that system. Right. If you're wealthy enough, you know, you have money, pay someone to create that system for you, and then get people to work in that system. If not, you can create that system. It just takes a little bit of time, right? I use Elon Musk example quite often. Elon Musk started from nothing and created PayPal, created so many things, and now he's doing SpaceX exploration. But he's still doing it. His rockets were failing, dropping, and he's still doing it. Tesla, when he started Tesla, you know, people were saying, no, it's not going to go there. And I mean, a lot of people came before him with electric cars, but they didn't go anywhere. But he was determined. He was like, no, I'm going to create the system and everybody's going to be part of it. And it is. And now he's creating this underground for Tesla as well, which is happening in States. So I'm waiting for them to come to UK and start doing that. So by the time I have a Tesla, I can just skip traffic, you know, and just take the underground Tesla thing and just take my car and I'm driving everywhere. It's amazing things. But then that is your mindset, which gets you going. And those are the people we love to connect with, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I've always been a connector. I mean, when I had my shop, if someone was looking for something, my wheels would start spinning right away. Who can I connect you with that can help you? You know, and it had nothing to do with me. And I have several coaches that I work with, and I will tell people about them all the time, and I have nothing to gain from that. This is one area of, you know, in my business that yes, I make a commission by connecting people with a product that can absolutely improve their life. I mean, it's completely altered mine. And that's what makes me so excited about it. And this business has completely altered my life. And you know one of the things that I love best about the industry of network marketing is the personal growth. I've always loved that. And so now it's, you know, you have to, I mean, it's such an intricate part of this industry. But I love helping other people because I've always enjoyed the personal growth. But whatever I've always read, I've always thought of, oh, who can I help with this? Who can I tell this to? And now I have a team of individuals that I can help to be their best version of themselves, if they want it. You know, if they're the type of person that wants it. And I always try to, you know, to remind myself and to remind other people, who in your life loses if you're not the best version of yourself? Who loses if you're not in your best health? Who loses if you're not in your best wealth? You know, I mean, if you have a wealthy, your wealth helps you to share your wealth, right? And you can't, it's really hard to help other people financially if you don't have it yourself. So you know, my coach, Peter Pasetto, always says, if you have the ability to earn a significant income, you have the obligation to do that, because there are people out there that can't, that just can't, that you can help. And I think I think you also have the ability, the obligation to have big dreams, because there are people out there that are worrying about putting food on the table tomorrow night. And I know that. So, you know, being able to, you know, years ago, Zishan, I hid my light. I was quiet, I was shy, and this industry is helping me to come out and do something like this. I mean, quite honestly, 2 years ago, I would have said, no, thank you. But to be able to, but I realize if I don't shine my light, there's other people out there that will shine a bright light, but not mean well. And the people in my life who I love will be drawn to that shiny light. So I believe that's, you know, that it's hugely important that we let other people know us, let other people know what we have.
No, I agree with that 100% in terms of, you know, we need to do our role in terms of shining that bright light. And, you know, otherwise the people will keep coming across who are, you know, every industry has a bully in there, right? So you'll come across a person who's like in your face marketing and all that stuff, right? And then you're thinking, oh, I don't actually want to be part of this. And then there are us like, hey, how are you doing? Are you okay today? You know, okay, let's talk tomorrow if you want to, you know, take it in your pace. And that only happens when our cups are full as well, right? So you mentioned wealth. Yes, once you have it, you know, whatever that it means to you in terms of how it's sufficient, it's our obligation to then, yes, start giving. And what that giving means is what we are doing now, have these chats to give the information out there, social media, connection. That is what I say what the networking is for me. Exactly what I would say is connecting and giving the information out in terms of, okay, oh, do you know this? Do you know that? You can do this, you can do this, you can do that. Because I've got vast network of people that I'm connected with. And I love connecting people to various different people as well. So, you know, people might come across me and I say, oh, I know this person who does this. Let me connect you, right? And if there is something in between, yes, why not? You know,
Sure.
There's always exchange of energies, as I say. You know, everything requires energy, right? So as long as a person is ready to move forward, I am able to connect them to that whatever their destination would be, or connect them to the person who will take them forward to that destination, right? Everybody's looking for that, because I love driving and transportation. So I will say, okay, you're looking for that train that you can get on so that it can take you to the destination, but you don't know which train is going where, at what time, and what platform you need to be on. And we are the, you know, conductors on there at the stations and telling you, right, hey, okay, where you going? You're going here, okay, connect. You go take this one to go there, and it will take you there. Now, the journey is yours to take, and how you take it. And if you are disciplined and genuinely interested in your journey, you will stick around and go with it. There are bumps, there are lots of stations that you will stop at. If you are okay with stopping at every station, because that means you are, enjoying the lows that you get,
Right.
and then from those lows, so that you can enjoy the highs more, and that's what it is. So in regards to that, your journey wise, right, being in the entrepreneur, what was your biggest takeaway from a low point of the entrepreneurial journey that you are able to share with today, so that somebody can, see if they can avoid that?
Well, I think I took, like, I think the biggest thing, my takeaway was that I told myself a story that was all I could do. That was a red light story for me, because the internet made my store kind of do this and then that, and so when it was doing this, my kids were in high school and they were saying, Mom, why don't you sell that store? Mom, you are killing yourself. You could go work someplace else. And I told myself a red light story that that was me. That was my identity. That was all I could do. And it was another phrase my coach uses is, I was living in a comfortable coffin. I was dying, and I wasn't uncomfortable enough to make a change. And so really when the universe made the ship sink, I had to move. I had, that was my pivot point. And it was hard. That was my identity. I hit a really low spot emotionally then, more so than ever in my life. And I'm so glad that I had this to turn to, because when my friend came to me, there was a point at which I had stopped doing the company that I started with. I didn't really get much traction with it. Like I said, I didn't really know what I was doing. And I didn't really excel with that one. And so there was a point at which I got a job. A friend of mine talked to me, let me know about this company. And I'm so glad that he did, because if he didn't, I would have stayed stuck. I mean, not only physically what it's done for me, I had all kinds of issues physically, that health-wise, that I would have suffered with probably for who knows how long. I mean, I was told by the medical community, well, you do get used to pain. That was what I was told by the medical community, And so now to not have that be a part of my life, it's completely altered my life. So I not only would have stayed stuck in that sense, but I don't know what I would have done emotionally without this. I mean, to be around the environment of other people who want to make a better life, and who uplift each other and support each other. That's something it's very rare to see that in a job. It's very rare to see people cheering each other on and supporting each other and saying, hey, I did this, try this, this works. Or have your boss say, hey, this is what I do, let me show you what I do. That just doesn't happen, right?
I agree.
So, in network marketing, you have the person who introduced you to the company, and the person who above them who has a significant stake in helping you to be better. So I heard someone say recently in talking about, and answering people about the network marketing question. And he said, can I ask you this? If when you were in high school, if each of your teachers had a stake in how you do for the rest of your life, do you think you would have gotten a better education? Because that's what we do, right? We give people the system, we give them an encouragement, we help them, we coach them, and we help them to succeed, and we get a commission by the wayside of that, right? So it's like Zig Ziglar says, the more people that you help, the better. Your income is dependent on the amount of people that you can help. So that's what I love about the system. I think it's a genius system, brilliant.
No, I agree 100%, and I love that you touched upon the emotional side of the thing as well, right? Because a lot of entrepreneurs do make the mistake of right at the beginning, when they do get into businesses and everything, they get emotionally attached to their first business, right? As an entrepreneur, you need to be doing a lot more than just one business. Yes, the one business maybe that you start will become successful, but that is not the end of it. You still need to have other things going on. you need to have more than one stream of income coming in. I mean, all these 1% of wealth that you see, billionaires and millionaires, they have more than one streams of income. There's average 7 anyway, right? So, and that's what you need to have, right? One is a success. All right, this is a success. What else I can do to have that? So in that case, if you had that time, if your store was now, online was taken over, you'd be like, okay, let me just close this. I'm going to move on here. Exactly what I was able to do in my time now last summer, because I created the streams straight away. After that 2008, for me, I was like, okay, I need streams
Yeah.
coming to me. And I need to make sure those streams are coming to me from either all directions, whether they're regular or not, but it's a stream that I can turn the tap on and off on places like this. So I created lots of teams around me that started helping me to do these things and created this. And it was it. So when pandemic happened, I was like, okay, my work stream, right, switch that tap off, not needed anymore, and turn everybody else on. And that was it. Turned everything else on, and I shooted from it. And I like the fact that you also said, network marketing is it's also to do with teaching, and that everybody is invested in you success, in your success, because your success is their success as well. But being in job, you won't see that, because job is, just over broke, right? Everybody in that environment is just over broke. They are some are living paycheck to paycheck, even though you have a nice cushy job, but still you don't know what the circumstances are, because nobody is supporting each other. You are just supporting whoever's on the top. Job has a pyramid network and all that stuff in there as well, because you have your boss, then he has his boss, and that boss, and then all the way to CEO or chairman or whatever on the top, right? And that's how the network is working, before you being at the bottom and never having the chance to get any of those.
And they're all benefiting off of your work.
Exactly, yeah. And this system I knew from a very long time, but I was like, okay, yeah, it's steady and it keeps you. And then the way it's created, the jobs, the way they create that system for you is you're always working hard. You never have time for yourself, and because you don't have all these things, you are never then able to break away from it, because then you always feel that you need that,
right,
to survive. So you're always in survive mode rather than thrive, right? And you also touched upon it's just escaped my mind, with the health, because with my health as well, right? As long as I was in that job, I was always on painkillers. I will say in a week, I will take in 1 week, I'll probably had about 6-7 painkillers to subside headache, subside tiredness, or some sort of, and because I love tea. I've been drinking lots of cups of teas and everything. Hay fever attacks coming in. I'm feeling tired at the end of the day. Get back pain and everything. When I left my work and I was now concentrating on what I do myself, I have my own schedule, my own times, I'm my own boss, I have my own target spread, basically, right? I haven't had any painkillers since last July. Of my teas cut down, because I don't really need it, because that was my comfort before that, right? Yeah. Oh, I'm feeling tired. Oh, let's have a cup of tea, right? And all those things. So I'm not having any of these things because I'm not feeling tired, because I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I'm happy, and I'm connecting to my family and everything. I'm going for walks quite often as well. I love walking, so I'm doing all these things because I am now in control of my time. Which also you mentioned, your health comes back, because the way the job is, it just sucks everything out of you, but doesn't give you anything. It doesn't give you anything. They might waive health benefits to you. Oh, you're going to get this, you're going to get that. You can actually get all of this by creating yourself, right? There are companies, if you sign up with them, provide the same things, which your company is doing it anyway, but you just think, oh yeah, my company is paying for all these insurances, health benefits, and all that stuff. At one point, I would use it. You can create all that stuff yourself as well and sign up to those health benefits and everything. as a individual yourself. You don't have to work for a company to get all that stuff.
Of course.
I'm sure it's the same in States, right? You've got
Oh yeah.
companies who provide that, right?
Oh yeah. And you can, yeah, they provide it, or you can buy it on your own. And honestly, it's almost a non-benefit for me because I just don't use it. I'm so much healthier with the product that I represent. I haven't had as much of a cold in 3 years. My husband and I had to fly home. We've always taken an annual trip to the Caribbean, and we were on vacation when things hit the fan with COVID. And so we had to fly home into Montreal with people from all other countries coming into the Montreal airport. And it was a little nerve-wracking, but I was very thankful that I knew we were both at our optimal health. You know, there's no immunity, of course, but I know that, you know, I could see already the writing on the wall that being at your optimal health was going to be a benefit, right? So I don't use my health insurance. I just don't need to go to the doctor. So, but you know, I wish, I always encourage people, and all of our listeners, I just want to encourage you to think about, like I said, who loses if you're not the best version of yourself, and what are your goals, and what are your daily habits that are they taking you towards your goals, or are they taking you away from your goals? That's what, you know, if you can structure your day like that, look at your day, keep a journal, where am I headed? You can watch your life change over time.
No, I agree with that 100%. Yeah, there's quite a lot of stuff that I canceled myself as well throughout the years when the changes were happening, right? And I was like, I don't need any of these because it's not needed. I'm not going to use this. I'm just basically paying someone's wage by just paying towards it, right, at the end. And I love that. In regards to where you are in your current life now, right? If you were to go back in time and say something to your younger self, what would you tell that younger self?
I think I would tell myself not to buy into that everyone lives a normal, just an average life. I think that we are here to live an extraordinary life. I think that's what God wants. I think that for us to live an extraordinary life. And I don't think we're here just to get by. I don't think we're here just to graduate from college and, you know, graduate from high school, graduate from college and get a job. I just don't think, and, you know, I heard somebody interesting, something said the other day. This person said, I want to be happy, happy, happy dead, you know, just, you know, living that life. And so I guess I would have told myself to believe in myself.
That's great. So to believe in yourself, because I'm, you know, I am 100% believer of when we are kids and babies, right? We have a sense of I'll say believing in ourselves. We just do things, right? We don't think of what others are thinking, what is happening around us. We are just doing it, right? And then society, let's say, and parents and everybody, from the love of their heart, comes along and stops us from doing certain things, like, oh, you can't do this, oh, you can't do this, oh, be careful, somebody's gonna look at this and say something, right? So, and you start then thinking, oh, right, okay, maybe this is not a good idea, then, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this, right? So then you start thinking about stuff and you start restricting yourself more and more and more. And this is where a lot of people who become shy, because nobody is shy from the day one. Nobody is shy. We are all out there. We are engaging with everybody. You know, as little kids, we are engaging with other kids and everything. The only reason we become shy is because we start getting those restrictions given to us from society and friends and family. You know, even though it's coming from a place of love, it's still, people don't realize what's the long-term damage is happening out there, right? So this is what we've been doing with our daughter. She's 13 now. She has been given choices of wrongs and right is there, we will just say, oh, just be careful, there is this side to it as well.
Right.
But what do you think is going to happen? Oh, I'm trying to do this and this is what I think will happen. Oh, okay, have you seen anybody else do this and that has happened, right? We just ask that question. So have you seen it? Have you happened? You know, because what they're doing is somebody has already done, right? And you like
Right.
you're just playing the same game, but you're a new player now into it, right? And that's what's been given. So she's been given opportunities to learn businesses and everything else, you know. So she's open to all of these in terms of, so when she is a young adult, she doesn't have to go and look for a job per se. She can make her a decision of being an entrepreneur if she wants to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or now if she wants to just hang out with her friends and get a job so that she can hang out with her friends, she can do that as well, right? But I think the way she's heading, she probably get all her friends to become an entrepreneur, right? So, but this is the opportunity we've given and we created that for her, is just because we don't want her to have that limiting belief when she's older that, oh, things are just happening to me and I'm not able to do anything about it. And that's what we get stuck in, right? And that, oh, I'm not able to do anything about it. Yes, at that, you're not able to do anything about it now, but what is the decision that you are able to take now, which will affect you tomorrow and the day after and the day after? What's happening to you now is something you decided, I don't know, maybe a year ago or 2 years ago. And that's
Right.
what's happening to you now. So if you now decide what you want 1 year from now, or maybe tomorrow, that is what you're going to see in that time. And
Exactly.
what are you thinking of that?
Exactly. You can't get from here to where you want to be doing the same things you did to get here. You've got for things to be different, you've got to be different. You've got to do something different. Absolutely.
Exactly. And so it's a lot to do with the mindset of how we need to do it, how we need to move on. And I always say to everybody is you need to be serious about your success. If you're not serious about your success, you can say that I want this, I want that, I want this, but you're never going to get any of that because you're not serious about it. You know, it's something else like, oh yeah, I want a good physique, yet you sit down and eat crisps or, you know, chuck down the ice creams every night, right? And oh, I want to be healthy, but you never actually go out for a walk. You drive to your local store every time, right? So those little things, because they all play in part. And this is where I always say, you know, think of what you are doing now so that you can move forward to your tomorrow, right? Anything that a lot of people think, yeah, those overnight successes that people see, they forget how many nights before it was an overnight success, there was a lot of sleepless nights before it became an overnight, right? Yeah. That night was an overnight because that's when they became to that pivot moment and they shot it up and they were successful. But before that, there was lots of sleepless nights. Are you ready to give that time for your success to come and you know, be there and win it? And there's a lot of people now give up on that time because there is statistics out there now for, you know, a lot of businesses and entrepreneurs, they give up in their first year of their journey. Yeah. And then the remaining 50% give up on the second year of their journey just because they're not serious about it, right? Because they'll come through a lot of downturn or challenges and everything, and they will say, okay, I can't do this because, you know, it's not comfortable. You're trying to come out of that uncomfortable zone. You need to be in that zone so that you can grow and move forward, so that you can enjoy what's at the other side. And a lot of people that struggle to stay in that uncomfortable zone, for some it might be longer, for some it might be short, just depends on how strong your mind is to pivot and move forward. Do you agree with that? And what's your take on that?
I definitely do. And let's face it, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. And, you know, but if they have a goal that's their goal, no matter what, they will get there. And you have to have that no matter what, you know. And if it takes someone 17 years, you know, if you've got a young person, it takes them 17 years to create an extraordinary income, so be it, right? Those 17 years are going to go by anyway, right? I mean, and if, you know, yes, success loves speed. So if you can, you know, if you can put your nose down and run and do what needs to be done, the faster you do it, the faster it'll happen. You know, if you bring in a certain amount of volume into your business in a month's period, and you did this amount of work, what if you doubled it? What if you put in 5 hours a week? What if you put in 10 hours a week and you doubled that? You know, and I mean, it's just, it really, that's what I love about it though, is that you can do what you want. You set your goals, you set your limits. And I've just always been excited by that aspect, and not having someone else tell me this is what I'm worth and paying me a fraction of what I'm worth because they're making so much money off of what I'm worth.
Exactly. And this is where a lot of people, you know, they get confused by people's success. So obviously, because we are seeing, because we only see the success, we don't see the hard work which is behind it, right? And because we are seeing that success, we're like, oh, we should. Why we are not there yet, right? And you just got on it now, and you don't know how long they've been working. Even though, let's say, some people who become successful in 6 months' time by joining a business or starting up something, right? And they become successful in 6 months' time, but you don't know how much, you know, effort they put in to become that six months. How serious were they, right? If you are that serious, you are able to do that in 6 months' time, even soon. I even say to some people, even soon, because I don't count myself as the brightest tool out there, right? When it comes to doing certain things, but I do count myself as hardworking and very dedicated and disciplined person. When I get into something, I'm disciplined until I have, in one case, mastered it. You never master something anyway, but you know enough that I can now do things without thinking about it, right? So if something goes wrong, I know the solution already because I am solution focused. I'll look at the solutions first. So when I'm doing something, I'm looking at solutions, not that, oh, if this is getting me to one step closer to whatever that is, right? I'm looking at solutions. Okay, I'm heading that way anyway. What if there's an obstacle happens? What am I going to do that time? So I'm ready for those obstacles. And I think that came to me because of that 2008. Until that time, I was living with a very comfortable blanket, you know. So I'm like, yeah, as you said, right? I had a comfortable coffin. Didn't really need to think of anything else. But since that time, I'm like, yeah, there is a coffin, but I need to be ready. If the coffin tilts it sideways, I don't want to fall out, right? So that's
no way to live.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, and this is why a lot of people tend to then struggle that, oh, why do I need to do all these things? Why don't I just go back to my job? Yeah, you can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, go back to your job. There is that way, and you can do that. Then you're back to your routines, and then you are back to being where you were, right? You haven't changed. To get some different results, you have to change as well, right? You have to do something different. And I use example of these, people who, let's say, athletes, right? Let's say a swimmer. So they all have same goals. They train all year round for Olympics and all that stuff, right? So now they on their pool, everybody jumps off and gets there. What do you think that there is always one winner to the first, holding that position for number one? Why? Do you think he had some more goals than anybody else? Everybody had the same goals. It's all that comes down to how much effort that person probably put in. That person probably did maybe 3 times more practice to have that stamina to carry on swimming, whereas the others probably did that much practice, right? They did practice, not saying they didn't, but they didn't do enough, right? So same goes for those basketball players. How long are you willing to practice? Are you able to put in night practices where everybody else is sleeping and you go and practice, right? And that what counts in, okay, where everybody else is sleeping, are you concentrating on your business, right? And if you're not, and you're expecting it to turn around and like, oh yeah, I've been in it for 6 months, nothing is happening. Why? Well, how much time did you give it?
Yeah. Yep. And like you're saying, practice too. I mean, nobody's good in the beginning, but you get better with time. And, and if you listen and you're coachable, that's the biggest thing. As soon as I got started, Zishan, I listened to one of my mentors, talking about the amount of training, she's on every call, whether it's on the recording or on the live call. And I was just like, okay, that's it. And I've gotten the people at the top of the company. I've gotten their words in my head, that you sharpen, is it one man sharpens another as iron sharpens iron, right? So you get around those people. And the other thing is too, in whether it be in a team, I mean, no kid starts out being an excellent basketball player, right? But you get around those people. If you didn't see someone being an excellent basketball player, you wouldn't have the notion to do it. But you get around people who are excelling, and make, it's so much of it is your environment, right? Let me look at your environment and I'll show you where your future is, right? So you need to get around people who stimulate you. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room, right? You want to get around people that are stimulating you, making you want to be a better person.
I love what you just said there, right? If you're the smartest person in the room, you need to go into a different room, which is amazing, because I use the opposite side of it, because you're the average of the 5 people you hang out with, right? And if you are struggling to see who's the average in your group, you are the one, right?
That's good.
And it becomes right. It then becomes true, because if you're thinking, oh, that person's doing a lot of stuff. Oh, amazing! This person's everybody's doing something. But who's the average person then? Oh, that's me then, because I am just watching these guys, right? And if you have people who are entrepreneurs, you're gonna be the next entrepreneurs with them, right? If you're people who just talk business all the time with around you, you're going to be talking business, and you will already be aware of what's happening, what you need to be doing, right? Because a lot of people, when you start talking to them a different language, right? There's a lot of people will sit down and talk to you about Netflix all day long, what's on the TV yesterday and all that stuff. Then
politics.
That's nothing wrong with all those stuff, right? Yeah, politics as well. Nothing wrong with all that stuff. Great. There's a good pastime. I haven't watched TV for a very long time, like necessarily sitting down and watching TV. But and if somebody is talking about something, I have no clue sometimes what they're talking about. But when I now talk about business stuff and everything, a lot of people then also don't have a clue about it. Then I always say, you need to change your friends. If you want to be successful and move forward and not complain about it, if you're serious about it, and everything that you are saying, and if you're serious about it, you need to change your friends who are then talking about the things that you want. Right? It's not going to happen if you don't know where to start then, because you all everybody's talking about is sitting down and watching Netflix and what was the new movie on that night, right? That's never going to get you anywhere.
Yeah. Yep. And you can't change the people around you. You've got to change the people that you're around. You can't. Another thing my coach says is, don't be hard on your people, be hard on your standards. This is where I'm going. This is the type of person that I want to spend my time with and pour my energy into.
100%. That's the best thing they've said now as well. So, because the friends around you, it's not their fault as well that you now decided to level yourself up, right? Because it's like playing that game, right? Every game that you play, there are levels to it. And if you want to just hang around and be on that level 1 or 2 or 3, how far you've come, and you don't want to go further, that's where you're going to be. And then soon you're going to be bored of this game and never come back and play, right?
I love that.
And that's what happens to the life, right? You're at a certain point of the life, then it becomes boring and you're not thinking of anything. You're always routine, and what do you want to do next? And you have to then move up from that level and then change your environment if you need to. I mean, there is a point that I also say, if you are unable to find people around you that are on the same mindset, and it's easy nowadays anyway with all these technology that you're able to connect. But I also say sometimes, the friends and family who hold us down, if you are able to, it's not necessary, but if you are able to, I even say relocate yourself to a different town. You don't have to go miles and miles away, just different town if you are able to, because that also now changes the mindset and gives you the environment where you are not now thinking of someone that, oh, they will see me sitting on a computer, maybe doing something, or they see me writing down stuff, journaling. It's different, you know, they don't understand it. So you're not thinking of those things as well, which also makes and takes you forward. And in your time, when you were already an entrepreneurial journey for a long time, right? But what was your discipline? I would say, is there a routine that you stick to and you've still been doing since a very long time? How was that evolution that happened over time? Because you've been doing it for a long time.
You know, I haven't, and really, honestly, for me, it was getting coaching. I didn't know that I needed coaching until I got it. And, you know, having someone to not only help me and with my direction, but hold me to it, hold me accountable to it. That has been really pivotal for me. And, you know, and setting myself, I mean, I set myself a calendar, and I block off time for what my plans are for the day. I do my schedule on Sunday, and I never would have done that without a coach. You know, so when a friend of mine, actually someone in my support team, suggested a coach who was outside of our company, I thought, well, I'll do it for a couple of months, you know, and I didn't understand how much I needed it. And, you know, anybody in life, I mean, whether it be a team or an actor, everyone who wants to really excel needs someone to coach them. So
I agree with that 100%, you know, because again, coming back to the example of athletes, right? They all have coaches, even though they know how to do their thing, right? Basketball players, swimmers, they know how to do all that stuff, but they still have their coaches who now help them excel into what they are already doing. They because they are seeing you from the outside, and then they are making you take that leap and go forward. They're getting you see what you are not able to see, right?
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. So with this, I mean, now we've done nearly an hour. So thank you very much for this. And any last words that you would want to say before we finish this?
I guess just, you know, I just want to go back to just paying attention to being the best version of yourself. And it's not just for you. It's for everyone around you. And paying attention to who in your life suffers if you're not. So, you know, think about what your goals are and where you're heading each day, what's taking you towards your goals, what's taking you away from your goals, and refine that and live a good life, live an extraordinary life.
Amazing. Thank you very much. I couldn't put that any better than what you just said there now. And thank you very much for your time as well, and sharing all these wisdom and golden nuggets for everybody here. So if people who are watching this on replay or on IGTV, I would suggest share it with the people that you can, because you never know who woken up this morning and thinking of what something different that I can do. There's lots of golden nuggets in this episode today here that people can use. What if people want to connect with you? How can they find you? As IG? DM you directly?
Yep, I'm Peg Tucker on Facebook, and I'm Peg_Tucker_ on IG. And just, please just reach out and please do share this. And I really, really appreciate you having me on. This has really been a lot of fun. Super fun.
Same here as well. Thank you very much for being on. Thank you very much, everybody, for listening and watching as well. And we will see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.